Hi, this is David Papkin. Welcome back, Core Solutions of Skype for Business 2015. This chapter, Implementing High Availability in SFB 2015. In this video demo, upgrading SQL Standalone to always-on availability groups. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install Windows Failover Cluster, create a Failover Cluster, configure always-on availability group, prereqs, create an always-on availability group, update the front-end topology to use always-on availability and failover between primary and secondary replicas. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the clustering role to it. So I'm going to, on here, it's equal to, and this one right here. On features, I'm going to do failover clustering. Start if necessary. Now on the other SQL Server, I'm also going to add clustering on here. I'm going to go while it's going on SQL 1. Let me go back and see how SQL 2 is doing on here. Great. Okay. So now I'm going to do is failover cluster manager on SQL 2. See this here. So on London SQL 1, open up the failover cluster right here. Manager. Validate right here, configuration. We have the name of the service here, London SQL 1 .datum.com. Of course, a little bit of it. Good. And the next thing that I'm going to do is this. SQL 2. Then I'm going to go next. Going to run all tests. Yep. Next. Now there were some warnings in here. That's okay. I'm going to finish. Create the cluster now. And the thing is on this is the London cluster name, London-BEFC on this. The network 172.16 network is on there. And the address will be 172.16.0.42. I'm not going to add any eligible storage to the cluster at this time. Now this setting must be disabled for an always-on availability group because you can't have shared storage with it. Very important. Great. I finished the cluster. What I'm going to do is I'm on London DC1 because we're going to be using this for the witness. That's why it's FSW, file share witness. I'm going to share it, share with specific people, share, done. Security, going to edit it. Going to add. Now on this, the object types, I got to give it look. Computers, which aren't normally allowed by default. I'm going to give full control to that one right there. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to London SQL 1 and this right here. More actions. I'm going to configure the cluster coring settings. On this one, I'm going to do a file share witness, as I mentioned. Select the quorum witness. Configure a file share witness. London DC1 file share witness. That was the share that I created right there. Next. And finish. Now the next thing I'm going to do is configure the always on availability group witnesses. Right on. So I've installed a failover cluster, created failover cluster. Configure. I'm going to do now the availability group prerequisites. So I'm going to the Skype to management shell on SB3, SFB3. Let's make it a bit bigger. There we go. Nice. And I'm going to move the central management store to the New York front-end pool. And then afterwards, I'm going to enable the change in topology. Since I made the topology changes, now I got to enable that. Now I'm going to start to move. Okay, the move was successful, but now I need to run local setup, the deployment wizard on London SFB 1 and 2 to update it. So I'm going to go on to 1, installer update. So now I'm going to run again on here, set up or remove. Run again. So we'll check since there's been changes in the topology. Okay, so now it's finished. I'm going to exit. Now I'm going to go to SFB2 and do the same thing on that one. I've opened it already, the deployment wizard, and I'm going to install or update. All done. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to verify the CMS replication health is healthy, or that it's fine. One, start, and I go into the SQL. SQL 20 or configuration. And I'm going to go to SQL Server Services. I'm going to click these always on high availability. Enable always on availability groups. Apply. Okay. Just telling you that it won't take effect till it's restarted. I'm going to close the properties page. Click here. I'm going to restart it right here. Now I'm going to do the same thing on SQL 2 right now. Do the same thing here. Enable it. Apply. I'm going to do is restart it. Now on SQL 1, I'm going to go into the SQL Server Management. I'm going to select the Manage Studio. Now I'm connecting to London SQL. Connect. Databases. I'm going to select this database right over here. Properties. Options. I'm going to change the recover model to full on here. Okay. And we're going to Power. Great. Type this, then this. Good. All these databases right here. Now I'm going to go back to Management Studio. I want to back this one up. Backup type is full. The backup component is in database. Good. Click on Add. CPS DYN underscore backup. I'm going to select this one here. This is the file right here. Okay to start the backup. Great. Backup successful. Great. I'm going to go over to PowerShell. I should be in the, okay. Just to make sure I'm in the right folder. Create SQL credential. Then I'm going to use this backup command. Backup SFB database -1 PS1. Great. The next thing I'm going to do is duplicate the database folder structure on the replica. This is a directory, right? Now I'm going to create a share for synchronization. Call this one sync share. I'm going to share this with specific people, everyone. Read write. Share, and I'm done. Sync share properties. Security. Edit. Add. I got to go computers again. London BEFC. Give it full control. London dash SQL 1. London dash SQL 2. Check the names. Good. Give them all full control also. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is create an always on availability group. I got to go back to SQL 1 right here. Management Studio. Object Explorer details. Good. I'm connected to London SQL 1. We look in the security node. Logins. New login. Okay. Click OK. Under the databases, system databases node. I'm going to right click master. New query. Execute the query. And the command completed successfully. The next thing I do is connect database engine. I'm going to connect London SQL 2. I'm going to expand the security node, logins, and let's just make sure that is SQL 1 here. I don't see SQL 1 here. So I'm going to have to put this one here. Say OK on it. Great. Now I'm going to do is here. A little change here. SQL 1. Let me just do is copy this. I'm going to go down now to the databases in SQL 2. Master. New query. Let's see if I can paste this in here. Oh, very nice. And on this one right here, we want to have SQL endpoint. Let's try to execute this from here and see if it works. Command successfully. So the always-on availability group wizard can create the endpoints automatically. However, it's not always possible to grant the two SQL Server instances access to the endpoints via the wizard. So the missing permission will cause it to fail when it tries to add database replicas to London SQL. So that's why I'm creating them manually before running the always-on availability group wizard. So now the next one is I'm going to create the always-on availability group. On SQL 1, always on this. And I'm going to say new availability group wizard. Next, London AG. Now I have to select next to this. And notice they all say meets prerequisites. On the replicas tab, London SQL 1 is the primary. And I'm going to add a replica. Can I connect to London 2? Connect to secondary. Automatic failover. Synchronous commit is on both of them. Readable secondary is set to no on both of them. I'm going to click on the listener tab. I'm going to create an availability group listener. Listener DNS name. Don't type it, the FQDN on this. Port 1433. Now notice down here, I'm going to click on add right there. It's just right in there. Now the IP address in there, 172.16.0.43, right here. Okay. So it's just very hard for me to see here, but I'm going to go. Okay, so I have the IP address on this. So remember I put the IP address in here. 172.16.0.43. Or next. Data synchronization page. Full. And this here is, I got to change in this. Let's see if we can get it. London DC1 sync share. Next. Good, I've had success in all these ones here. Next. Finish. For more details there. Good, you can see that all done, success. Next thing I'm going to do is upgrade the front pool topology to use the always on availability groups. Let me go to SQL 1 over here. I'm going to go to the topology builder on here. Sorry, SFB 1. And here should be 3. Let's find SFB 1 over here. We're in the topology builder. Okay, right here, always on. Datum headquarters. Shared components. SQL Server stores. And I'm going to give it this new name. High availability. Always on availability groups from that. Yep, it's the same. Okay. So they needed to match. This and this needed to match. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to associate the pool with a new SQL store. So I'm changing the SQL Server store. Okay. Publish. Okay, so I checked the status of the pool there. Good. And now I'm going to fail over between the primary and secondary replicas. Now please notice a network or server issues temporary limiting features. It has limited availabilities due to an outage. So the availability group detects everything is fine, but Skype for Business does not, because the SQL did not replicate the permissions. So I'm going to have to do is remediate it. So what I'm going to do is now go to SQL 2. I need to do is this. I got to go to the Skype for Business shell. Oops. Sorry, I'm going to do it on London SFB1. It'll do it to the SQL, but this could take about 10 minutes to continue this up. Okay, that command finished fine. So now let's go take a look at CL1 and see how we're doing. Notice now it doesn't say it's in limited resilience mode. So it's back to normal. I'm going to go back on to SQL 1. Failover. Notice there's a green circle next to it. Good. No data loss. Excellent. Good. Success. Let me go back to the client, Adam. Let's see my buddy Adam here. Notice it's still working. Yep. This concludes this lab. I've updated the front end pool and I failed over between it. This concludes this lab on high availability. This is David Papkin. Thank you for watching.